Okay, this is the 18th tape in practicing computer shorthand, and it covers frames 263 through 277. Okay, frame 263, would when it comes second in the phrase. I would, you would, he would, she would, it would, we would, they would, this would, that would, there would, these would, those would, which would. Okay, frame 264, would not, I would not, you would not, he would not, she would not, it would not, we would not, they would not, this would not, that would not, there would not, these would not, those would not, which would not. Okay, frame 265 is wouldn't when it comes first in the phrase. Wouldn't I, wouldn't you, wouldn't he, wouldn't she, wouldn't it, wouldn't we, wouldn't they, wouldn't this, wouldn't that, wouldn't there, wouldn't these, wouldn't those, wouldn't a, wouldn't an, wouldn't the. Okay, frame 266 is wouldn't when it comes second in the phrase. I wouldn't, you wouldn't, he wouldn't, she wouldn't, it wouldn't, we wouldn't, they wouldn't, this wouldn't, that wouldn't, there wouldn't, these wouldn't, those wouldn't, which wouldn't. Okay, frame 267 is the apostrophe D contraction. I'd, you'd, he'd, she'd, it'd, we'd, they'd, there'd. Okay, now we're going to move on into the prefixes in the next section of the book. So just a couple notes that might be helpful for you when you're learning to process prefixes. There are a couple ways to do them. A lot of times you can just blend them in with the important vowel that comes. So for instance, if you said, if you had the word demand, you could just write that D-A-N-D, okay? Or if you had the word pretend, you could write that prend, okay? You can, some people, to make their writing really clean and ready for real time, they write the prefix phonetically. So they would write DE for D prefix as in defect, okay? I prefer not to do that because it's a little time consuming, but you know, people are different in what they like to do. You can also do one-letter shortcuts, and these are shown in the prefix chapter. You do have to do a lot more work for defining in your dictionary this way if you do them, but they're very, very fast when you're writing. They're not a lot of work to do. And then sometimes you can just delete the prefix entirely, just don't bother with it. You know, for instance, the word complete, you could just write leet. You could just write L-E-T, L long E-T. Okay, so you kind of have to just work through the list and see what your own preference is, but that's to give you some ideas of how to attack those. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with frame 268, and that's a prefix A, okay, or really. Okay. Alike, alive, amiss, asocial, atypical. Okay, frame 269, ag, agent, aggrandize, aggravate, agnostic, agree. Okay, frame 270, anti, antibody, anticipate, anti-lock, anti-slip, antiviral, Okay, frame 271 is AS. Aspirate. Aspire. Assign. Assorted. Assist. Okay, frame 272 is the prefix BE. Okay. Become. Begin. Belong. Berate. Bestow. Okay, frame 273 is by. Biaxial. Bicycle. Bifocal. Biopsy. Bisect. Okay, frame 274 is the prefix com, C-O-M, and I just would want to note that many times you can blend this in rather than just writing it out separately. So, commence, commit, compare, complete, comprise. So again, you could just, the majority of those you could take the K and just consider that in lieu of com, and then write the other half of the word, like write K and mence, or K and mit. Okay, a lot of people like to do that. Okay, frame 275 is con, C-O-N, and again the same principle applies. You can usually just blend this in. Concur, contemplate, contest, convey, convict. Okay, and for those words that you can't blend, I find it's really nice to use a shortcut, just to use either the initial K or the final K, whichever it is, to precede the main part of the word. Okay. All right. Frame 276 is a prefix D, D-E, debit, deputy, detail, devise, devote. Okay, frame 277, and this is the final frame for this dictation tape. It's the prefix del, del, delete, delight, delineate, deliver, delude. And this completes the 18th dictation tape for practicing computer shorthand. Practice hard and keep those fingers flying.